Hey, it's Jared with State of Tech. Ready for another case haul video? Well, I've got the iPhone 13 here. This is not the Pro, this is the iPhone 13 6.1 inch device, and we are going to look at a whole bunch of cases. Now, I've got timestamps down in the description for you, so if you want to click around and go to the case with the name that you want to see, you can definitely do that, or you can watch the entire thing and suffer with me. No, I'm just kidding. These cases are fun. I like cases. I put them on my phone to protect them because, you know, the phones are breakable, even though they're getting stronger and stronger. I just like having a case on my phone to protect it. You're probably watching this video because you're of the same mindset as me. So I get these cases sent to me often by these companies who saw that I made a case video in the past and say, hey, check out our cases. Some of them have multiple styles of cases where others just have one or two variations. And so we're going to go through this pretty fast, but I wanted to do this because it's hard to find videos on cases and you actually get to see the case and have somebody comment on it that you know is at least has the cases available for you to see. So, and you know, like most people say, I made one before and everybody seemed to like it, so here we are again. So use those timestamps. If you see a case that you like, I've got a link to it so that you can go and purchase it. Those are affiliate links. They go to Amazon, and it does help support our channel here when you do that. The affiliate links don't cost anything extra for you. It just helps us keep the lights turned on and all that good stuff. And of course, buy phones so that we can review these cases. So this first case is the first one that I got sent to me. It was from a company called Encased. Very interesting name there. And they have a lot of case options available. Of course, I always ask for these case manufacturers to send me like the darker colors because that's the cases that I like, are the darker colors. Some of them send me a version in each color, but we're going to look just at the darker colors here. A lot of these cases come in different color variations as well. So this first one is the Encased. It doesn't really have much of a name. It does have the TA175 black, and this case is kind of a simple case. It doesn't have too much. It does add a little bit of thickness to the phone, but I like the back of it. It's very clean, just a simple case. Black case, good edge protection, face down protection, which I think is important. Not a ton of it, but there is enough to where if you put your phone down on a counter or something like that, it wouldn't scratch it up. So this is the first Encase that we're going to look at. I'll go ahead and pop it off and just kind of show you. There's a good amount of protection in the corners, and the case is, this is the Thin Armor. Actually, that's where the name is, Thin Armor case. And the Thin Armor case is very flexible, and it does have kind of a silicone-y feel, but it's very slippery. It's not porous at all. And yeah, decent case. Let's just go straight down the Encased line. This next one here is a bit thicker of a case. It has a little bit more going on, and it also has a different texture to it. This is called the Rebel Series case, and it's more of their impact dispersion system. And so this case has a bit more thickness to it. It's going to add more to your phone than the last case. And so there's also a lot more camera protection here, whereas on the last case there was just really kind of a slim camera protection going around the edges. This one has a bit more because the case is thicker, so it's raised up, and then there's also a little ridge around it. This case sits flatter than the other case. I should have mentioned that. This case kind of rocks a little bit because it does have that raised edge, whereas this one sits a lot flatter on the table, and that's something that kind of bothers me, are cases that are not balanced well. But you do often have to go with a thicker case if you want something that has more balance. There's definitely plenty of room for all the ports. You can get access to all of them here. The buttons feel really good on these cases. They've done a good job with these cases. This one's a little much for me, but for those that want a bit more protection, this case is going to have you covered. So the next encased case is the Phantom series case that has a wallet built into it. Now this is definitely going to drive me up the wall because this case is not going to be very well balanced. It's one of the reasons that I didn't really like Apple's Snap-on wallet for the back, the MagSafe wallet. But at least the MagSafe wallet you can remove. This is non-removable, but you can put some business cards or whatnot in there, and the case has about the same amount of protection as the first case that we looked at, going all the way around. I'm not a huge fan of the back plastic here. It's just very slippery. And so a phone like this will slip off of my leg if I have it sitting on my leg or on the couch or something. It's going to slip right off. It doesn't have really anything that's going to grip the ground for you. But I do like the fact, if you're looking for a wallet case, what this does achieve that the MagSafe wallet does not achieve is it makes it easy for you to get your stuff out. The MagSafe wallet is really only good for like one card and a $20 bill. This is definitely going to allow you to fit a couple of cards in there, and you're going to be able to pop them out because of this cutout here. And that's something that kept me from using the MagSafe wallet, was I needed to carry like my driver's license and one or two cards because I have a business and a personal card, and then I wanted like a $20 bill or something in there, and the MagSafe wallet just wouldn't cut it. I did not like it. So I do like that for that aspect. And our last case from Encased is their Falcon series case, and this is a two-piece case. So I'm going to have to pop out the case and install it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the Falcon series case is a two-piece case that has a built-in screen protector. The built-in screen protector is going to help protect your phone, which is fantastic because sometimes screen protectors, you have to attach them to your phone, and if you ever want it off of your phone, you have to peel it off. This screen protector is going to come off. Of course, if you take the phone out of the case, you won't have the screen protector, which you might like. It's a feature or maybe a lack thereof. You definitely can get screen protectors and install them and use them on other cases like the cases we've looked at, but the cases with the built-in screen protectors are kind of nice because they also protect against dust and stuff like that from getting into your phone. This one has a port door, as you can see, so port door to access our lightning port. And then of course the speakers are opened. We also have a port door for the switch, and the buttons are nice and responsive as we would expect. The case lays nice and flat. It doesn't rock, which is something that I like about this case. And it is fairly simple. It doesn't distract too much. It does add a bit to the phone. It makes the phone feel a little bulky in the hand, but it provides a lot of protection. There's definitely tons of protection on the screen side of the phone because of the ridges here raise up significantly, and then with the screen protector, you're really not going to have anything to worry about when it comes to the screen on your phone getting damaged unless it was by a blunt object coming in contact with it. So I would say I like this case. I'm not a fan of the two-piece cases with the built-in screen protectors, but there is a use for them, and I think this is probably one of the better ones that I've come in contact with. I know we're going to look at another one soon, so we'll talk a little bit about comparing that as we get to another two-piece case. But as far as the encased cases go, I'm pretty impressed with the cases that they have. I haven't seen too many of their cases in the past, and these cases are really nice. The first case that we looked at, I've had on the iPhone 13 for about a week now, and I've enjoyed that case. I like the way it feels. I picked that case out of this batch that I have because it just felt nice, and it was the simplest case that they had. All right, so moving right along, we're going to go through the cases that I have singles for, and this is going to go a little bit smoother because there's only one of each of these, and these cases are from companies that I've had before, cases from before, and I really like their cases. So this case from Torras, one of the things that I like about this is that it comes with different color buttons, and this was a lot of fun. If you've watched my iPhone 12 Pro cases video, this was something that I really liked. You can actually replace the button colors in the case with either the yellow or this red color, maybe orange, depending on how you're seeing it. It looks like red to me. And this case was really nice. I enjoyed it. It had a nice feel to it. It wasn't, over the top case. It was a little slick. I could kind of see my phone through it, so it has kind of a smoked finish. Has a little bit of edge protection, the only thing that I didn't like is that it rocks. It's not totally flat laying down. But nonetheless, it was a very simple case and it felt great. And the ability to customize the buttons and change the color meant that I can add a little bit of flair to a case that is just black otherwise. And so the Torras case was really nice. It was one of my favorites in the last video. And so definitely check it out in the link down below because this case is something that's unique. I don't see many other cases coming with different button colors. Now we're moving on to a Speck case. This is the Candyshell Pro case. I have been a fan of Speck cases for ages. This is not the case that I would choose. I do prefer their Presidio grip case, which has more of a grippy back to it. And I've used the Presidio. I can't count the amount of those cases that I've purchased over the years for the different phones that I have owned. Now, this color is definitely, vibrant. I like it, but it's definitely not my style. I would go with a darker case. But this particular line, the Candyshell Pro grip style cases, are a little bit more bright, and so it adds a nice touch to the iPhone. Definitely gives it a look that I'm not getting with these other cases that I have. The matte finish of the color is really nice. It has a nice balance to it, very flat, lays flat, which I like, and it has a good amount of protection face down. The buttons feel really good, and I mean, you can't go wrong with a Speck case. Speck cases are just fantastic. Every single case that I've ever had from Speck has been a great experience. They are a little bit more expensive than some of these other cases, but you get a really good quality case, and if you have any problems with your case, contact them. They generally take very good care of their customers. I've had a Presidio grip case in the past. One of the little grips ended up tearing, probably just from pulling it out of my pocket too many times and it catching, and they sent me a new case. They didn't even want the old one back. So it's definitely nice to work with companies like that, whereas some of these other companies, they may or may not have a way to get in contact with them. So the Speck Candyshell Pro case, of course, I think my preference would be the Presidio grip, but a very nice case nonetheless. The next case is from Spigen. This case is pretty cool. Their cases I've always liked the inside of. They just typically have a nice design. There's good protection and padding here inside the case. And the case has some cool features. So let's go ahead and throw the phone in it and take a look. So the buttons are really nice. I like the way that these buttons feel. They don't stick out or protrude much, but you know that they're there. The case sits flat, which I like on the back side, and it has a lesser but still a good amount of edge protection face down. The design of this case is really interesting. It has the cutout for the Apple logo. It also has a kickstand built into it. And so this little kickstand will work for watching videos and stuff like that. It's nice to be able to kind of kick your phone up and watch videos, or maybe you just have your phone on the nightstand or something like that, and you can get access to it if it's plugged in. The little kickstand is kind of nice, and you can use it either way. You can use it this way, and the phone stands up nice and tall, or you could turn it around this way and get more of an angle to it. It doesn't work well in portrait mode, so if you try to set it up, it's not really designed for that. But in landscape mode, it works really well, and it kind of stays out of the way. It adds a nice, it kind of looks nice. So the edges of this phone has a good amount of protection as well. I like the kind of the ridged design on the edges of this particular case, so that's kind of a cool feature. Overall, this case looks a little bit more industrial than the other ones that we've looked at so far, which is nice. For me, I would prefer not to have the cutout with the Apple logo, just because I don't know, feels weird. I mean, if this was a way to unlock your iPhone, that would be one thing, but I'd rather just have this covered up. It's yet another thing that I'm going to have fingerprints and dust collecting in, which normally happens with the camera bump. So overall, I like this case. If you're wanting one with a kickstand, this is probably one of the better kickstand cases out there. No case video would be complete without talking about an Otterbox case. Otterbox cases are great. This particular case is the Commuter series case, and it is a two-piece case, but not with an included screen protector. So you put it in this inner insert here and kind of get your phone sorted there, and then you snap it in to the plastic exterior. And so there are pros and cons to this, I think. The pro is that it makes your phone really easy to clean, because the case, you can easily get it out and you can pull the rubber portion, the inner portion out. Whereas those integrated cases, sometimes it's hard to get in there and actually clean those things out, and maybe you don't want to run it under water or anything. So this rubber enclosure here that the phone slides into, you can easily rinse that out, clean it, and take the plastic portion off and wipe it down. You don't have to do it all as one piece, so that's kind of nice. Other than that, I don't think there's really any value in them being separate like that. Perhaps the phone stays in there. I don't think it stays in there any better than any of the other cases, because it's two pieces and it snaps in together. An Otterbox case like this particular series of case is pretty simple. There isn't a whole lot here. Otterbox cases typically are known for having lots of protection. This one, being the Commuter series, is more of their simplified case. So they still do make a ton of cases that are that have a lot more protection for those that are in environments where your phone could easily get damaged. So this is a more simplified case. The buttons are nice. They feel good. There's a good amount of screen protection or edge protection around the case for the screen. This cutout situation that they've got going on here, I mean, I see what they did, but I don't know if I like it. It kind of makes the shape feel weird to me, but it is an interesting style or design choice. I love that this has grip. Even though this case is relatively smooth, it has grip, and so when the case is down, it's not going to slip around because there is grip here, and it does rise up just a little bit higher than the rest of the case, and it does it in a way that doesn't really off balance the case. There's a little bit of back and forth here, but it's not too bad. One other thing that I'd have to say about this case is that you might be able to see it here. It seems to fit really nice here, and then it's not seamed up against the phone perfectly in this area, and even though I'm kind of massaging it and trying to get it into place, I can see some silver edge of the phone here, whereas the rest of the way around the phone until you get to this part here, it also just looks a little off. And so this Commuter series case, while I like it because it's not a massive case like some Otterbox cases are, that would bother me, like just it not lining up perfectly like that. And I think that it's because the phone's getting squeezed here by the plastic, and it's not getting squeezed here by the plastic outer component to this case. So I don't know. I mean, it's a nice case, but it's not my favorite case. It has lots of good protection, as you can see. It's kind of the corners are reinforced, and there's a little bit of room in there, and so it's a good case. Just there are little things that kind of drive me up the wall about it, but that's all I got to say about that one. So we're going to move on to a case by Humixx. This is a company that has sent me cases in the past, and I've liked most of their cases, especially their more simple cases. This case here has kind of a smoked finish to it, like one of the others that we looked at. I think the Torras case. Of course, it doesn't have interchangeable buttons like the Torras case does, but it is a nice, simple case. The button here, it's really grippy. The button on the side of this case, very grippy, and the volume buttons as well. Simple branding on it, which I like. Easy access to the buttons and the ports, and it has a little bit of an industrial look to the edges of it that provides some grip. It's not as slippery as some of the other cases, but it still is not you know, it's not grippy, super grippy. It does not balance well, which is a pet peeve of mine, but on the face down with the edge protection, it's a little bit less than some of the other cases, but I like a bit less. I typically look at where I'm setting my phone face down, and so I know I'm not going to hit anything, but I still don't want my phone rubbing against the table or whatever I have it setting on. So there's just enough there for me. I like this case. For me, it's just, this is annoying. I don't like the cases that rock. So maybe a better balanced design, and then this case would be perfect. All right, so I mentioned that there would be at least one other case that is a two-piece case that snaps together with an embedded screen protector. And this is the Supcase UB Style, I believe, or UB Style Pro, the Edge Pro, sorry. This is the Edge Pro, and it has a nice design to it. Obviously, it's completely clear on the back, so you can see your phone in its natural color, which is good. This tends to usually fingerprint up a bit, but I'm like putting fingerprints all over this, and it is not happening. And so fingerprint is a thing of the past with this. I'm actually really impressed. In the past, these clear back cases that let you see just the beauty that is the back of your phone are fingerprint magnets, and it's just gross. If I put my fingerprint on the camera here, I've got a fingerprint on the camera now, but if I move my fingerprints and try to, smudge up the back of this thing, it's not happening. Of course, the front of the phone with the screen protector, that does smudge up a little bit. I think you can see it here, that it is smudging up, but on the back of the phone, I mean, it's hard to see just because the phone is white, but there's no smudges on the back of this phone. It's great. And so they did a great job with this. I did not experience that with the last case, but the last case had a smoked back anyways, so it's less noticeable. This case adds a bit of thickness to the phone. It does stick out a bit. You can see the depth here in order to get to your switch. There's a little bit of depth, and the ports on the bottom as well. This case adds a bit to your phone, but it adds a bit of protection as well. So combine that added protection with the fact that they figured out how to make plastic that isn't all fingerprint smudgy. That's fantastic. The phone balances, which is great too. It does have a raised edge around the camera bump, but they've also added raised edges to the corners here down at the bottom, and that makes it balanced, which I love. It's got a ton of face down protection, including the embedded screen protector. So this particular case is going to protect your phone from all the elements. The embedded screen protector feels pretty good. It doesn't feel quite as slimy as the last screen protector, and I'm only noticing that because I'm now comparing them together. So overall, I like this case better. It has simple Supcase branding on the side of it, and overall, a very nice case. Now, the last case we looked at was the Edge Pro. This is the standard Edge case, and so it's a single ply case. It does not have an embedded screen protector like the last one does, but it has very much the same style. So if you didn't want that last case because it has the screen protector and it was a thicker case, this case is going to make you happy. It has the smudge-resistant backing on it, just like the last case. It balances because Supcase is very smart people. And overall, this case looks really good. It has a little bit of protection here for, basically face down. You could put your own screen protector on here still and get the screen protector without having to have the additional bulk to your case. So this case I absolutely like from Supcase. The buttons feel really good. It feels like a great case. I mean, the Torras case was great because it was simple like this one. It balanced. It had the smoked back, and the buttons feel really good, and it didn't have too much protection to where you feel like you're having to reach into your phone around the case just to use it. And so I think so far, like this case, the Torras case, and probably the first Encased, which is the thin armor, are probably my favorite cases so far. I'm really enjoying this case right now just because of its simplicity and the fact that it is not smudging up on me as I'm putting my fingerprints all over the back of this case. it is not smudging up. So good job on them. Now this case is the UB Style case from Supcase, and I may have spoken too soon on the previous cases. I really like this case. I like the design choices here. It's much more subtle, and everything kind of comes in a little bit, so the phone doesn't feel as thick. The buttons feel really good on this phone. It has the same like smudge resistant backing on it, which is great. It balances, which I know all of their cases do, so I could even say that before even trying it. Overall, I really like this case. This may be my new favorite case, and definitely a new favorite from Supcase. You know, there's no smudging going on the back, which just still blows me away. I do like to see my phone. Putting it in a case makes me feel like I'm not seeing the actual device that I purchased, and having a case like this where fingerprints are no issue, I still have all the protection that I would get from a case, and I can see my device for the most part, is great. And so this case is, I think, one of my favorites. It has protection around the camera, but not too much. So back down, it's protecting the camera from scraping on whatever you set your phone down on, and a little bit of screen down protection as well. I would probably add a screen protector to this, and it would be the perfect package. So lastly from Supcase is a very involved case. This case adds a lot to your phone, but this is for those who need the protection of a bigger case. I talked about, you know, the Otterbox cases. This is definitely a more affordable version of one of those big Otterbox cases. This case is two-piece, so we have the screen protector here that is embedded on the front. We've got a ton of armor all the way around this case, including a lot of port doors that protect things here on both the charging and the switch, and so we can access those very easily here. We've got access, so this is not necessarily a waterproof case, but it does provide a ton of protection all the way around. It balances like it should both ways. It's got a ton of protection, screen down, and then also with the embedded screen cover on it already. So everything is good here, but it also comes with this belt clip. And so if you need something with a belt clip, you know, you want your phone to basically be accessible at all times and your pocket is too much, then you've got this belt clip. And this belt clip provides a bit of functionality because you can put the phone in screen side in, as you can see here, and now your screen is not protruding, which is another additional safety feature. If you don't want that, you can also utilize this the other way around by snapping your phone in like so, and then you can clip your phone up and still have access and be able to see what's on your phone. And so that's one thing that I do really think is neat about this. You can rotate this around so that it's, you know, for your belt, or you can clip it on something, rotating it this way. So there is utility even for somebody that doesn't want to wear their phone like that. There's utility in this. I can have this mounted in my truck or something, and I just snap my phone right into it and then pull my phone out when I need it. This also has a kickstand built into it, and their kickstands are, oh, that actually worked a lot better. Notoriously a bit challenging to open the first few times that you use them, but this snaps into place and it works in portrait mode, which is awesome. Most kickstands are single function and don't. And then I can use this in landscape mode as well, either way, and get the same angle, which is great. I could go, you know, pretty much any angle with this. This kickstand is really sturdy. I'm like pushing pretty hard on it, and it's stable. Even, you know, if I bump it good, it's going to collapse because obviously we don't want to break it. But it takes a bit of pressure in order for it to do that. So this case is the most durable one that we're definitely looking at. And for those of you that need a case that has a ton of protection around your phone and you know, the belt clip and all of that good stuff, this is the case for you. All right, so we looked at a lot of cases. As I mentioned, they're all linked down in the description below, so you can check out those links, see the different color options, check out the pricing and all that good stuff on these cases. I know that I have more cases coming to me. There are companies that have told me they're going to send me cases, but I wasn't going to wait around forever for their cases to get here. So I'll probably do a part 2 if people want it. Definitely let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll do a part 2 with even more cases. Cases are useful. There's a utility to them. They protect your phone. They make your phone more grippy so you don't drop it. And as you can see, some of these even add more functionality on top of that. So if you are a case person, let me know down below and let me know what color of case you typically go with. But I hope that this video was useful. If it was, give it a thumbs up, subscribe here on State of Tech, because when there's new phones, we'll do case videos, and in between we'll do more useful stuff that actually teaches you how to use your devices. So check those videos out as well, and I hope to see you back in another one soon here on State of Tech.